education. In the late 19th century, John D. Rockefeller Sr. was one of the wealthiest and most hated men alive. He was the owner of the Standard Oil Company, a monopoly involved in everything associated with the oil industry, from drilling to transportation. It allowed him to accumulate enough wealth to influence many institutions, including America's education system. In 1902, Rockefeller Sr. founded the General Education Board with an initial donation of $1 million. Rockefeller founded the board with help from Frederick T. Gates with the stated objective to support higher education and medical schools in the United States. The General Education Board was also interested in the promotion of farming in the southern states and schools for African Americans. By January 1903, the U.S. Congress officially incorporated the General Education Board, with their mission being, quote, the promotion of education throughout the United States without distinction as to race, sex, or creed. The General Education Board charter was supported by a bill from Senator Nelson W. Aldrich from Rhode Island. Coincidentally, Senator Aldrich's daughter, Abby Aldrich, was married to John D. Rockefeller Jr. Senator Aldrich would also prove instrumental in the creation of the Federal Reserve Act of 1913. The Rockefeller family would ultimately give over $180 million to fund the board. The board's founding was preceded by several early educational organizations and private meetings between John D. Rockefeller Jr. and other influential people of the time. One of the men in attendance was Daniel Coit Gilman. Gilman would become a member of the General Education Board and was also the co-founder of the Russell Trust Association, which is the business name for the New Haven, Connecticut-based Skull and Bones Secret Society, which operates a student secret society at Yale University. We believe, however, that a careful study of the Prussian school system will convince any unbiased reader that the Prussian citizen cannot be free to do and act for himself, that the Prussian is to a large measure enslaved through the medium of his school, that his learning, instead of making him his own master, forges the chains by which he is held in servitude, that the whole scheme of Prussian elementary education is shaped with the express purpose of making 95 out of every 100 citizens subservient to the ruling house and to the state. Even more unnerving are the words of Reverend Frederick T. Gates, the business advisor to John D. Rockefeller Sr., who helped him found the General Education Board. In our dream, we have limitless resources, and the people yield themselves with perfect docility to our molding hand. The present educational conventions fade from our minds, and unhampered by tradition, we work our own goodwill upon a grateful and responsive rural folk. We shall not try to make these people, or any of their children, into philosophers or men of learning or of science. We are not to raise up among them authors, orators, poets, and men of letters. We shall not search for embryo great artists, painters, musicians, nor will we cherish even the humbler ambition to raise up among them lawyers, doctors, preachers, statesmen, of whom we now have ample supply. For the task we set before ourselves is very simple as well as a very beautiful one, to train these people as we find them to a perfectly ideal life just where they are.
Society, because of all of these different toxins known to affect brain function, we're seeing a society that not only has a lot more people of lower IQ, but a lot fewer people of higher IQ. In other words, a dumbing down, a chemical dumbing down of society. So everyone's sort of mediocre. That leaves them dependent on government because they can't excel. We have these people of lower IQ who are totally dependent. Then we have this mass of people who are going to believe anything they're told because they can't really think clearly. And very few people of very high IQ who have good cognitive function who can figure this all out. And that's what they want. So, you can kind of piece it together as to why they are so insistent in spending so many hundreds of millions of dollars of propaganda money to dumb down society.
Alright, Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and a few sisters out there. The seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. It's going to be a quick show, Lord willing. I couldn't let this one go. I was trying to sit there, think about something. I was just looking at something. I was like, damn. And what I was looking at, and it reminded me of this video I had sent earlier, and I posted it up. and the dumbing down of society. And it so happens the song that I'm playing, the instrumental I'm playing back is on Lupe Fiasco, "Dumb It Down." But that's neither here or there. So as I was watching a particular video, matter of fact, I'm not gonna play it because I was looking for something. Maybe I'll find it, maybe I won't. I don't know. And this is these clowns. All right. This is all about the people that was in the medical field when the you know what was taking place, and it was all dancing. And we all know that was a ritual and all that good stuff. But I was sitting there thinking about it, contemplating it, and because I was thinking about something earlier, I think a lot. But putting everything together in your head is sometimes beautiful. So a lot of these jobs that people have, that long-term jobs, a lot of these guys who went to college, or girls that went to college, and usually go to sororities and the other shit, whatever they call it. I can't think right now. I guess I'm just dumb, right? But and what happens is when they join these things, they say the best way to the CIA recruits is in colleges. Why is that? Because everybody that goes to college wants to get out of that poverty. So the smart ones, or the non-smart ones, okay? Because this all goes back to the education. We just might as well just say it. Everybody that's on the planet, on the United States soil, you have been educated by the Rockefellers. All right? I'm gonna repeat that again. Every man, woman, and child that's on U.S. soil, you all have been educated by the Rockefellers. They the ones that put the curriculum for you to graduate and for you to think the way you think. The reason why people can't advance in anything of thought is because they made it that way. All right, and I'm gonna put the video up and show you that, because they are the ones that wanted people to be more reliant on them. Now, a film, I'm not gonna play this because it makes no sense. But it was just dancing around. It's like they all coordinated and all that, and that's what they do. That's what they do in these sororities and for these fraternities. They dance. They express it. It's not by accident. All right. A good movie for Jake. Look at School Days by Spike Lee. All right. They always had the battering of each factors in the schools was going at it by dancing. All right. And it was all Greeks. They believed in the Greek alphabets and all that. This is not by accident. This is the grooming. All right. This is the grooming. This is where all the people that you see on television, everything that you see, and to keep you dumb, while they keep the smart ones behind them, or the smart ones are not really smart because they're just following the orders of the elites. All right. There's no room for a free thinker in the society. All right. The only way you can be free, that's why the Lord said that. It said you should know the truth, and the truth shall make you free, shall set you free. All right. And we've been bombarded by demonic things, spells on a high level from the beginning. School has become, I could speak for the New York education system. The educational system is all about, in New York City, it was all about fucking passing a goddamn test. That's all it was about. When I was growing up, it was all about passing your fucking regents. So that was the most stressful time for somebody that's trying to get the fuck out the hood and try not to go the other route. You gotta pass these goddamn tests. That's not gonna help you anywhere around the country. And it only really helps you in the state that you're taking these tests for. All right. People that goes from the city of New York, who had to take all these stupid ass regions, if they go upstate New York, they wasn't even concerned about that. Showing that this whole system was made to fail. All right. Now we fast forward to what's going on now. The majority of people are waiting for instructions how to think. The majority of people can't think independently. They need a herd-like mentality to do things. Is this by accident? No. This is how it was designed. All right? Because we was all educated by the Rockefellers. okay, and the Carnegie, all right, the elites of this side of the pond, so to speak. Slacky, I had it. See, Wisdom of Solomon. Gets straight to the point. This is a masterful plan, I must say, but hey, that's what the Lord. Hey, that's why it's so hard for us in the truth, because the simple fact is that we have to get rid of all the BS that we've been taught. It says, Wisdom of Solomon 2:12. It says, therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he's not of us. Because he is not for our turn. And what do you mean by wait for the righteous? The setup, because out of all minds, they have the majority of people, they waiting for those particular men and women that's not part of the protocol, that's not following what's being said. Okay, hey, a lot of children when they was in school and they had they call it, what was it, ADD, attention deficiency, some whatever, and now they got drugs for that. And there's nothing wrong with the child, but just because they can't get educated or actually like a program like everyone else, they want to give them Riddler, whatever. It was a drug to calm their nerve down. All right, because you're not being educated. Now look, if you look at the children today, what are they being taught? Men with men, women with women. So it all came down to the whole thing. They just constantly just dumbed down people, so that way when they can have nothing but slaves, man. All right. It says he is clean, contrary to our doings. He upbrighteth us with our offending the law. He objective of our infamy, the transgression of our education. All right, the transgression of their education is what we've been taught. All right, it's all about we've been programmed, man. You used to analyze everything in your mind and think like, wait a minute, all the shit that I was stressing out as a child, as a young man, I'm speaking for myself. Everything that we've been taught, been taught for what? It wasn't for the greater good, because all that shit that you was taught in the schools, you couldn't apply that to fucking the real world. The only thing you need to know how to do is read and math, all right, and know some true history. And the history that was being taught was what? It was fabricated, all right. So you have to really look on your own to find certain things, to be your own person. And how does most majority of people in their families act? If you don't have a certain type of education, you're dumb. All right. So being a free thinker or somebody that's trying to go against the grain, you in this society, you're an outsider. All right. You're an outsider. But this is all part of their masterful plan from the very beginning. He said his profession is to have the knowledge of he professes to have the knowledge of the Most High, and he called himself the child of the Lord. And this is what is end up happening, because out of everybody that's coming, that's believing in this truth, there's only a few handful of men that's not going to be fooled. The scriptures tells you, matter of fact, I'm going to be kind of all over the place, but forgive me, because I just had to, one of those. Matthew's 24 said, Matthew 24, and I went to the point. Well, we could start here, if it was possible. Yep, Matthew 24 and 24. It says, "For there shall arise false anointings, false prophets, and it shall show great signs and wonders, and so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect." Because it's impossible. All right, the idea of everything was being deceived to the point that you didn't even know who you are. Now people logically think, you know, you exist as an individual, but yet you need a license, either driver's license or state ID, to say that you exist or where you live at. That in itself is kind of mind-boggling. All right, then you got to recite your damn social security. You got to carry your birth certificate. You got to carry all these things to actually show that you're an individual. So now they get into the point where they putting everything together to make you be in a hive mentality, because of the simple fact is they trying to control everything. They're trying to control everybody. And all these years of being programmed, the most impactful thing was 2020. They got the majority of the people in the world to do as they want them to do without any questions. You question it, something wrong with you. All right, now I've seen a video, maybe I should put that in there too. Well, nah, it's probably too much. But I seen a video where in Canada, that if a person that had mental problems didn't get their, that venom, the love juice, that they're gonna give them meds. All right, so they gotta take your will down in order to deceive you. All right, so the name of the game is to deceive the masses of the people, but the elect won't be deceived. Something about something is not gonna make you, which we know what it is, but something the Lord it didn't allow them to fold your mind. All right, Scripture says the simple believeth everything. When you look up the word simple, let me see if I can find it real quick. Proverbs. No, I'm saying, yeah, it's in Proverbs. Well, actually, it doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna Proverbs 9:4. It says, "Whoso simple, let him turn and hither. As for him that wanteth understanding, she saith unto him." So it said the key word is simple, right? The Hebrew word is payatah or payatai, simplicity. All right. This is the true definition. Second one, simple, foolish, open-minded. So the word simple technically means open-minded. So they have people open, their minds are open. All right, let me see if I can find a. Yep, Proverbs 14:15. The simple believeth in every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his goings. So that they have everybody in this simple mindset, open-minded. All right. And how did they mask that greatness? Because what? They open your mind, and main thing really did it is by your dopamine. Countless entertainment, countless sex, countless drugs, countless everything to keep your mind open to everything. All right. It says, oh, there's more. A wise man feareth and departeth from evil, but the simple, Slakia. But the fool rageth and is confident. He that is so angry dealeth foolishly. A man of a wicked device is hated. The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. All right. And so when we look up the word, I did this long ago for the word folly. I'm gonna do this real quick. Folly. It says the lack of good sense, which that does mean it, some of it, but look at the etymology of it. The word for folly Mental weakness. Mental weakness. So the majority of people are mentally weak, simple, meaning their minds are open, and that scripture comes in mind. City. I did this before. It doesn't matter. So it's good to do it again. It should be Proverbs 25, and 28. It says, he that have no rule of his own spirit, meaning you don't have no control over your own self. Right? We've been taught to not to think individually, to be selfish, right? But to be selfish in a way of just your emotions, thinking about your emotions, only your emotions. That really matters. Not everybody else. We've been taught in that selfish manner. Not the selfish way of taking care of yourself or anything like that. It's all about being emotional. All right? So being emotional, meaning you can't control yourself. All right? This is what we've been taught. Back in the days, a random dude might just try to fight you. And he around with other friends. So you talked about my mother. You don't know this man from a can of paint. Right? You don't know him or his mother. But he wants to fight you because somebody said something about his mother. And that happened to me before. I got jumped. I'm like, damn, I don't even know this nigga. But these are, why? Because they don't have no control over their emotions. So they don't have no rule over their spirit. So we've been trained to be not free thinkers, but to be emotional creatures. All right? This is why everything is about cancel culture. Everything is about sensitivity now. It started long ago. All right? It says, he that have no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. And that city that's broken down is your mind. So your mind is broken down. It has no walls. It has no protection. It has nothing to defend it. And the mind of the average person in America is weak. That's why folly is set in great dignity, because folly really technically means weak mental weakness. They train everybody to be in the mental weak state. That's why you have celebrities on a high pedestal, and no matter what the celebrities say or do, people will follow because they're influences, because they're easily beguiled by what they see. Because we was raised that way, we was trained that way. This is the education of who? The Rockefellers, all right? And he had a lot of things to do with everything that to modern day medicine. Obviously, I'm talking about the education now. He had a lot of things to do with a lot of things. What you think it would have been normal, they had set things in motion. All right, to the point where the average person don't have common sense. Okay, it says Isaiah 60:2. It says, "For behold, darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people." And it says, not only darkness, gross darkness. So the people don't have a clue what's going on. All right, they have gotten to the point where they just gone. All right, there's no relation. Everybody is sick. Everybody's psychotic. Everybody got demons all over them, man. And instead of fixing the problem, they even amplify the demons that's within them. And this is all part of the plan. This is all part of Esau's masterful plan, man. It started out quite simple. Hold on. Isaiah 25:7, it says, "And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations." So the covering cast, all right, when you cover something, you're hiding something. So when you're hiding something, the people don't know what it is. So they change the language, they change who the people are. All right, and I even changed the educational system, because once again, it always goes back to the same thing. It goes back to what people can't think for themselves without the government intervening and getting them out of that situation. That's why you have the two-party systems where people constantly believe one party cares about them while the other party doesn't, and they're always in conflict because they believe in this two-party system. This party system, the Democrats and Republicans, is like a coin. One got heads, one got tails, but it's still a coin. It's still the same thing. This is said in Revelations. It had the horn of a lamb, but it's still on the lamb. So no matter however you think, they don't care about what you're doing. One side is going to make you have dependent on the government for everything, for subsidize your life. Another one's going to have you work and not work your whole entire life and not get nothing. Either way, it has people enslaved. That's what it's all about. It's all about enslaving the minds of the people. So it all started out by blinding the people. All right? And keeping the people blind. That's the name of the game. That's why Revelations 20, I like to use this one, in 8, it said, and he shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. And that's what this man has done. He has deceived the whole entire world. All right. Now you got Moab will come over here and outdo everybody over here in the educational system and seeming like, oh, this guy's smart. But when it comes to common sense, these people don't have no common sense. All right. They don't have no common sense whatsoever. You have kids today that's getting A's and A pluses and all that, and everybody's all proud about them. And which is good, that's a good sign that they're paying attention. But what are they learning? The stuff that they're learning, is it really aiding them? Because it's gonna same thing that happened to us is gonna happen to them. They're gonna be educated to take instructions. That's all it is. That's all it ever been. The name of the game is to instruct the people, to instruct them in wickedness. I gotta go here. Psalms 64:2. It says, matter of fact, I said I wanted. It says, hear my voice, O Yahweh, and my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. For the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. So a body of men came up with these massive plan, Micah 2:1, all right, and made certain things into law. And these laws this is the way you can get out this system. And if you don't have this, you can't get a job, you can't provide for yourself. So the majority of people will come and believe this is the way to get out of poverty, and it's not a way to get out of poverty. It was never a way to get out of poverty. Okay? Hey, colleges are like convenience stores right now. Damn near every corner has them. So what was considered to be higher learning is no longer a higher learning. It's a common learning. All right? You still have the prestigious schools like Oxford, Harvard. There's another one too. I forgot what it. I think that one is in Israel. But there's like 3 prestigious schools out of all these schools out there, and all these other schools, they get funded and everything. But yet the people come out not. The only way you can really get anything is if you know somebody that was part of a sorority, and that's how they designed it. Okay. And the people, as you can clearly see, they just follow instructions, and whatever the elites will say, or if I even say anything, they'll follow. So this is all part of their masterful plan. And the greatest thing that ever happened was the awakening of the elect of the nation of Israel. All right. That's what the greatest thing ever happened. It said, who wet their tongue, it means sharpen their tongues. All right, wet means sharpen, like a sword. All right, and bend their bows to shoot arrows, even bitter words. So how would they do all these things? They lie, cheat, all right, slander, tell people all the things that you think they have you believe that this is how the way to be, and there's never no way out of it. All right, the whole idea was to sharpen themselves up to destroy Israel, and no matter how they change the game, they change the post, our people will always excel, always has excelled. All right, and they keep changing it because it's like, damn, even though we fooling these people, they still catching up. All right. It says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in the evil matter. The commune of laying snares, which is the traps. Privately they say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. All right. So they know what's your inner dark secrets. They know what excite the human mind. They know how to keep you in this state of want. All right, because if society crumbles tomorrow, the majority of people won't even know what to do, how to do what needs to be done, while a handful of people know how to survive. Everybody else is just going to know waiting for instructions. And that's how they have the majority of people. They just waiting for instructions. What's next? You know, there's no more thought. All right, we've all been designed to get a gratification. For example, if you work at a job, where our minds are so screwed up that if we work at a job, we could be confident of the job that we did, but yet we still want outsiders to tell us, "Oh, you did a good job." That wasn't by accident. That was by design. And the majority of the times you were looking for an Edomite to say, "Oh, you did a good job," or whatsoever. Simultaneously, we may say that to you, and the next thing you know, you get your check. All right. So he knows how to play with people's emotions, how to make you. That's why you have an employer, and an employee, a master and slave mentality. That's how this whole entire system is built upon. So if anybody graduate high school, you're a fool. If you graduate college, you're a bigger fool. If you got your master's, you're even a bigger fool, because now you're gonna deceive the masses while you still being deceived. All right, and that's all by design by the Esau, man. It says, both the inward thoughts of every one of them and their heart is deep. Which is speaking of their mind. Their mind is deep. More traps after more traps. And even though if you go to college, you have to pay thousands of dollars for somebody that don't even teach you nothing. Here they're just trying to teach you how to learn. Crazy, right? But this is the society that we in. You can't relate to these people. Matter of fact, it was something else. The brother had put it out. Keyword. Yep. Let me see. There's two of them. Ephesians 4:14. It says that we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried away with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men. All right. So let me see. Look up the word sleight. Dice. Sleight goes back to dice playing. Okay. It says metaphorically deception of men, because dice players sometimes cheated and defraud their fellow players. And the slight of men is the masterful of all that is Esau. All right. Once you believe in this doctrine that you are the biblical Israelites, and you keep studying and keep understanding, you become more in the spirit, and you can fight off more of the deceptions that's around you. All right, and not get caught up in the minds of how this devil does it. Matter of fact, it says cubus, a cube that is die for player. Die means one dice. Gambling that is figuratively artifice or fraud. All right, that's slight, right? It says of man, and the cunning craftiness whereby they lie in wait to deceive. So let's see, where is it? It's a cunning craft, right? All right. Okay, craftiness, cunning, specifically a false wisdom, and there we go. That's the answer. It's the false wisdom that's been given. We've been taught false wisdom. We've been programmed to think falsely in our whole existence. It's in a good sense, prudence, skill, and undertaking and carrying in affairs. Okay. Oh yeah, that's why this brother Quantum Watt, he saw this one. Is Sophia say? Strong. Let's see if that's the one. No, that's not the one. It really means what he said. Sophia means wisdom, but wisdom in a false sense, and that's what they did. That's what they've been doing to us for our whole entire life. You know? It says whereby they lie in wait to deceive, and that's the name of the game. They lie in wait to deceive, to dumb everybody's self down. It says, but speaking the truth in love may grow up into him in all things which is in the head, even Yahushua. All right. Matter of fact, that's why another thing why they took quote unquote religion out of the schools. All right. They did a lot of things, man, to make the people the way they are. It says, let me get one more and then that's about it. Sirach 10, sorry, 2. It says, as a matter of fact, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. All right. It says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of people ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. So these are unwise kings that destroy their own people, and really, technically, they're just destroying their own household, which is other Edomites, because it's all about deception. What is this sword? Let's see, see, rich. It's another one in Proverbs. It's like Proverbs. That is one of them. There's another one. Proverbs 22:16. It says, he that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want. There's another one. Let's see. I think it's Proverbs 28. No, that's not it. Salakia. I can't find what I was looking for. Gotta find a wording for it. But it goes into it. So to the extent of either they oppress the poor for riches or something like that. 23. Nope. I guess that's it. 28. Nope. Since I quoted it, let me end it off on this. St. John 8:32. It says, "And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." So this is how you be unplugged, by acknowledging the fact that everything that we've been taught. That's why you gotta constantly get in yourself, examine yourself, because everything that we've been taught in this society was a goddamn lie. How to be a man, how to think freely, everything. Because they just wanted to dumb us down the whole entire time. So that being said, I'll say real quick, through the spirit, shalom to the elected nations, or shalom.